Hello, this is Rani Ahmed with you, and this is our second lesson in the design and the programming of the school registration system. And there will be some kind of management, okay, stuff that will be added to the software, but just the basic application, okay. And we are here just to discuss and explain the design that we are working on now, the database design here. Okay, so this map before you, or this graph before you, is just about the way the data are organized inside the school or the university or whatever database. Okay, so for now, okay, we have in any school or uni or educational institute, usually we have heroes, okay, that constitute this university, or this is educational institute. So those heroes are, okay, of this play, if you want to consider it as play. Okay, we have the student, we have the teacher, we have the subject, and we have the classroom that's made of the subject and the teacher and the time. Okay, this is inside the classroom definition, we'll see it later. And also we have this relationship which tells or records what every student has registered in the classroom. Okay, oh sorry, what classrooms that the student has registered. So just to start now, we have to start with the classroom and how and what are these arrows all about. It's just that if you want to say I have this teacher, you're not going to say his name is blah, his name is for the computer course, and this, that, and this, that, and that. Okay, so this is harder to fill, just to find things. So what we do is just to give it a key value for every teacher or student or subject or classroom. Okay, and this key must be unique, and this is what we call a primary key in database terms. So but this key is going to be a number. Okay, and through that number we're going to identify the teacher. Well, there's another number for the student, for this number for this classroom, another for the subject. Okay, so subject, the topic, okay, that's taken. Okay, so if I want to say I have this classroom, okay, the classroom is made of subject and the teacher at a unique time in the week. So what happens is, I'm not gonna put in the table or the file that records the classrooms. Okay, every time I record the classroom and every time I record the classroom, I'm not gonna say the subject and its details and the teacher and the details, and every time the teacher and the details, teacher and details. This is wrong. Okay, because what will happen is that like there will be repetition in the data, too many repetitions. Just repeat the number, the primary key of the teacher and the subject in a way. You say, for example, this classroom, okay, at this day and this time will take the ID of the subject. So this ID refers to this subject name and this description of the subject, and the ID of the teacher, which refers in the table of the teacher, okay, the teacher whose number is blah blah, and his name, that's at that number his name is Fu, and I don't know what bar, okay, the address and date of birth. So this is how the classroom is going to be made. And then because of this relationship, I can say what each student has what each student have of classrooms, or has classrooms, okay, and registered for him. So like if I want to say student number 2 would have, for example, the classrooms, okay, for example 1 and 2 respectively are the math and physics, okay. Maybe another student number 3 would take what Arabic and maybe English, and for example those classrooms are numbered 5 and 6, and maybe the same student number 2 can take also in addition to that classroom number 3. So this way, okay, I can record for the same student just by repeating his number in this table called student classroom relationship, and we'll see it how it's done in the database MySQL, because here our database is MySQL. Okay, so we see how it's done, and this table just record the IDs of the student and the classroom. I'm going to also record the registration day of this subject, so you know the teacher would know those subjects when they were taken or registered. So going back to our database, this is the diagram. We're done with the diagram, and then now this is MySQL administrator, okay. When it will ask you for a login, the login will be for the username or the password of your MySQL, and usually you would install MySQL at this when you're programming at the same machine. So the host that you will be logging in is the local host, okay, and that's why I'm saying here root at localhost, okay. So now our database here is called school, and through this I can create other tables, okay, like using this button, create table and make a table. Now so I have the classroom table, this student table, and the student classroom table, which makes the relationship between the student and the classroom, okay. This is the table which saves the all the uni students, you know, their courses, every student and his at every course he registered. And then I have the subject here, which is the subject name and its description, and I have the teacher, his information, his you know, details, his number, his phone, his blah, etc. name. So to go further in the details, after you create the table, you should get something like this. This is for the student. So every student must have a primary key, which is the ID, which is a unique one, okay. See, it's made primary key. It has not to be null, but it has to be filled, okay. Although there's a null value here for default, but it is also increment. So every time you add another student, it will have a new ID for him, okay. First of all, start with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, etc. As long as you add and insert more, okay, you find that there will be more IDs generated, okay. Every time a newer ID is generated for you, okay. And therefore I'm saving the name and the address and the phone number, okay. Now the phone, for example, here I'm saying it's a string, it's just a normal list of characters, okay. It doesn't have to be a fixed one, can be variant of varchar, so it can go up to 11 characters, and here I'm saying up to the maximum 255, Okay, similarly here for the name. Okay, and of course the ID must be an integer, and I'm saying here's the date of birth. Okay, and the date of birth by default in MySQL is like, I think, if it's the default, I'm not sure. Okay, you can say that it's written something like the year, for example 2011, like we're now, it's around Christmas. Okay, so like not now, this is 21 first. Okay. So this is how the date is written. So it starts with the year, then the month, then the day. Okay, now discard changes. I'm gonna discard this for the, okay, and close. And by the way, MySQL comes with Debian Linux. Okay, and if you don't have it, you can still download it from MySQL's website. Okay, it's free. Now similarly, there's the teacher. It's very much the same info, same table, just this for the teacher, named by the teacher, for the teachers. And I have the subject, which is almost the same, just all I'm saying that it has a price, this subject. Okay, and this has a description, details, like for example, what's the Math 101, what does it talk about. Okay, and I have the name, okay, for the subject, short name, like saying, as we said, Math 101, Physics 203, things like that. And I have its ID. Okay, this is the referencing ID. Okay, and it's all the IDs I'm making are all primary keys. Now and now there I have the classroom. Okay, and the classroom is, I have the ID of the classroom, I have the room number and the day and the time. Of course, at that room number and at that day and at that time, okay, they must be unique together. Like you can't have at the same time and the same day the same teacher and the same subject. Okay, you have to put them in a different room, at least in a different room, or change the time. Okay, and this is just the starting time, because I'm considering that when this classroom starts, the other one is what do you call it, starts on the starting time of the next classroom, the same room. Okay, okay, close. And I have here also the student classroom relationship. Okay, and yeah, I have here the student ID. I record the student's ID and his corresponding classroom ID that he recorded, and the registration day. So what date, at what time he registered that subject. Okay, so every time, okay, every time a student wants a list of classrooms, okay, to be registered, so it will every time say that this. Let's go for an example here. Okay, first of all, you say this comes from text console, like here. It will open for you the shell or the text console, and it will come this prompt. Okay, this line, which is the prompt, and this is /u, which means it's changed to this database called school. And then I press enter, so I change the, okay, the examples I have already had. Okay, return. So let's just go back here. Okay, so I just start from here. I say, for example, select everything. Star means everything from student classroom. Okay, so I can see all the students and every student what classrooms has he taken. Okay, so let's take for example he had number 1 and the student number 1 had the classrooms 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, up to here. Okay, now if I want to see what the student, as you see, he has 4 classrooms. Now if I want to see what's classroom 3 means, I will have to go for that and say select star from classroom, select everything. I can say, for example, here just a quick crash in tutorial and SQL. You can say like this, where classroom, where classroom ID, yes, classroom dot ID. Dot ID means the field is called dot ID. Here the field is totally classroom ID, so it will be student classroom dot classroom ID to refer to that field. So where classroom ID equals, for example, we said 3. Let's take 3. Okay, so 3, if I did not say where, everything will be listed, so inside the classroom table. So number 3, okay, is a classroom that's given at on 1 at on Wednesday at midday and the subject is referred by number 2 that's given in that room, and the teacher is referred by number 2. Okay, so we'll see who's teacher number 2, and we see which teacher is subject, which subject is number 2. Okay, so which subject is number 2 and which teacher is subject 2. So what will happen is I'm going to say subject.id here, and its name 2, and then I'm going to say subject. Okay, you have to write the fields after the dot as in the same way they are mentioned here. Okay, when I edited the tables, when I popped up the fields of the tables. Okay, and I press enter. Of course you have to finish it with a semicolon as in here, and then I press enter here. So now we know that subject 2 is physics and has price of 300 units of money. Okay, now to see who's the teacher of this subject, we're going to say select teacher. Now I know there are people who know programming, and they will know, yes, we can join the tables, make it a quicker way, but I don't want to go that deep in that. I just want everyone to know what's the topic here. Okay, it's about how to use TCL with MySQL. Okay, that's all. It's not about MySQL. Okay, later you'll see the complex join queries. Okay, so I'm saying the teacher here. Okay, and this is number 2, and his name is Awali. He lives in Adlum. Okay, that's in Lebanon. So that's the way you know the relationship. Okay, just because of the student relationship and student classroom relationship I had. Okay, so this is how every course is recorded. Okay, so I'm just taking just the number of the subject and the teacher to make a classroom, and I'm just making the getting the student's number just to get that student, and we did not know yet what's the student of number 1. So I say, let's say here student is 1, and the table is name student, and that's me. Okay, So that's the program for now. Okay, that's what's going to be explained in details regarding TCL, and I hope you like my explanation for now. And Merry Christmas to all. Okay, happy holidays. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and comments.